Doing well with money has a little to do with how smart you are and a lot to do with how you behave. And behavior is incredibly hard to teach, even to really smart people. That is the opening premise of Morgan Housel's masterpiece, The Psychology of Money. This is not a book about math or spreadsheets. It is a book about the stories we tell ourselves about money and why even intelligent, educated people consistently make terrible financial decisions. Today, I'm breaking down the 4 most powerful lessons from the book that will permanently change how you think about wealth. Lesson 1: no one is crazy. We all do seemingly irrational things with money, but no one is actually crazy. Your personal experiences with money make up maybe a tiny fraction of what has happened in the world, but they make up roughly 80% of how you think the world works. If you grew up during the Great Depression, you view the stock market as a dangerous gamble. If you grew up during the 1990s tech boom, you view stocks as a guaranteed path to riches. Neither person is wrong given their experience. We all make decisions based on our own unique financial histories, and they all make sense to us at the time. Lesson 2: confounding compounding. Warren Buffett is widely considered the greatest investor of all time, but here's the part of his story that almost nobody talks about. His net worth is over $100 billion, but over $96 billion of that was accumulated after his 65th birthday. He started investing when he was 10 years old. His skill is investing, but his secret weapon is time. He has been compounding for over 80 years. If he had started investing at 30 and retired at 60 like a normal person, you would have never heard of him. The lesson is not just to invest well. The lesson is to never stop, never cash out, never interrupt the compounding. Lesson 3: getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. Getting money requires taking risks, being optimistic, and putting yourself out there. But staying wealthy requires the exact opposite mindset. It requires humility. It requires the fear that what you have built can be taken away just as fast as it was created. It requires frugality and the acceptance that some of what you have is attributable to luck, not just skill. Housel introduces a concept he calls the man in the car paradox. When you see someone driving a beautiful car, you do not think about how cool the driver is. You imagine yourself in that car. Nobody is admiring you as much as you think they are. The desire to signal wealth through possessions is a trap. Wealth is what you do not see. It is the cars not purchased, the diamonds not bought, the watches not worn. Wealth is financial assets that have not yet been converted into stuff. Lesson 4: reasonable versus rational. Purely rational financial decisions are often not reasonable for actual human beings. The mathematically optimal strategy during a market crash is to buy more stocks. But if you're terrified and watching your net worth drop by 40%, selling everything feels completely reasonable to you, even if it is financially devastating. The goal is not to be perfectly rational. The goal is to behave well enough, consistently enough, over a long enough period of time. The final lesson that ties everything together is the importance of saving without a specific goal. Most people save for something: a house, a car, a vacation. Housel argues that the most powerful form of savings is saving for no reason at all, building a financial buffer that gives you the flexibility to take advantage of opportunities and survive setbacks. Wealth is not about having a lot of money. It is about having options. Housel also makes a point about tail events that most investors miss. In any given decade, the stock market might have 2,000 trading days, but the majority of the total returns from that decade will come from just 10 or 15 of those days. Nobody knows which days those will be. The investors who try to time the market and step in and out miss those days. The investors who simply stay in the market through crashes, through recessions, through panics, capture all of them. The strategy is not to be smart. The strategy is to not be stupid. Stay invested. If you want to master your money, you first have to master your mind. Understand your own financial history. Let compounding work without interruption. And remember that the goal is not to look wealthy. The goal is to be free. Subscribe to Money Simplified, and I will see you next time.